At the beginning, there's this girl named Eris who suddenly wakes up. She's lying next to her husband. Eris is really down because she just lost their little son on a hiking trip. Missing him so much, she quietly sneaks out of the house with one of his toys. Her husband has no clue what's happening. She drives off toward the forest. After parking, she starts climbing the mountain where her son passed away on that trip. Actually, she has made a small memorial for her son. She places the toy he had brought near the memorial. After that, she reaches the very top of the mountain because she's already made up her mind to end her life. But before she can do anything, a man named Richard shows up. He tells her, "I know exactly what you're about to do. I'm not going to stop you. But I want to share my story with you. It might lighten my heart a bit." Richard then begins to tell her about his graduation. He used to have a car back then. One day, he got into a terrible car accident. He survived, but his girlfriend didn't make it. After that, he fell into a deep depression. But over time, he found a new way to start living his life again. Eris says, "Hearing your story really made me sad." Then she starts sharing her own story. She says that one day, she had come hiking to this exact spot with her husband and son. When her husband was on a tree, suddenly they were carving his name. Right then, his son was looking around for some wood to roast marshmallows. Suddenly, he slipped and fell straight down the hill. He died in that tragic accident. Eris says she still hasn't been able to forgive herself for that horrible moment. Richard calmly says, "I've said what I needed to say. Now you can do whatever you want." Saying that, he starts to leave. By then, Eris's mind about suicide has completely changed, so she climbs down the mountain. That's where the car was parked right there, and Richard's car was parked right next to it. Actually, he had parked his car super close to Eris's car, so she couldn't get into her car properly. Just then, Richard came back pretending to help her. He was holding an umbrella, but it wasn't a normal one. It was a special stun device that could knock anyone out with an electric shock. Without wasting a second, Richard used the device to knock Eris out, and then tightly tied her up in his car. A little while later, when Eris wakes up, she immediately realizes that Richard has kidnapped her. She has a smartwatch on her wrist and tries to call the police through it. But Richard notices and laughs, saying, "No use. There's no signal here at all, so you won't be able to contact anyone." Then Eris remembers that she had quietly slipped a knife into her pocket before leaving the house. She tries to use it to free her tied hands. It seems so. Meanwhile, to distract Richard, she starts asking him questions about his girlfriend. But Richard says, "I don't want to talk about my girlfriend." He realizes that Eris is trying to mess with his mind by playing on his emotions. Just then, Eris manages to free her hand and suddenly attacks Richard. However, Richard quickly grabs her hand. During the struggle, the car loses balance and crashes badly. After the accident, somehow both of them they come out. Eris still has that knife in her hand. She tells Richard, "If you come near me, I'll kill you." Richard replies calmly, "There's no point in all this. I've already given you a special injection. In the next 20 minutes, you'll be completely paralyzed. You'll be able to see and hear everything around you, but you won't be able to move your body at all." Hearing this, Eris tries to run away. Richard calls out after her, "Escaping from this jungle isn't that easy. No way. In 20 minutes, I'll find you, and you won't be able to go anywhere." Eris sets a 20-minute timer on her smartwatch and starts running away as fast as she can, hoping to get some kind of help. After a while, the injection starts taking effect on her body. One of her arms and one leg completely stop working. She hides and lies down near the roots of a big tree so Richard won't find her easily. But there are a lot of ants there, which makes her she has no choice but to leave her hiding spot. Just then, Richard spots her. Summoning her last bit of courage, Eris crawls on the ground until she reaches a river and jumps in. The river's current is super strong, so it carries her far away. Then she glances at her watch and sees there's only 1 minute left on the timer. She realizes this is her last minute to get to a safe place. Struggling, she manages to get out of the river and she falls onto the grass nearby. The next moment, the injection takes full effect on her body. Her entire body is now paralyzed. She can see and hear everything around her, but she can't move even the smallest part of her body. Just then, an old man comes by who owns a nearby farm. He sees Eris lying helpless on the ground. He tries to talk to her, but even if she wants to, Eris can't respond. Then the old man asks, "Can you see me?" Eris blinks just once, which means yes. Then he asks, "Can you move your body even a little this time?" Eris blinks twice, meaning no. The old man instantly realizes that something really serious has happened to this girl. He quickly lifts her onto his trolley and takes her home so he can inform the police. But just then, there's a loud knock at the door. Eris immediately understands that it must be Richard outside. Terrified, she starts blinking rapidly. Her eyes, I could clearly see the fear on his face. Even the old man could tell something was seriously wrong. So, without taking any chances, he hid Eris behind a sofa inside the house and went to open the door himself. It was really Richard standing there. who'd somehow managed to find his way there while searching for Aris. He asked the old man if a girl had just come by. The old man didn't give a straight answer. Then Richard started making up a story, saying that the girl's mental condition wasn't very good there was a car accident. After that, we got into a big fight and she got upset with me and left. The old man replies smartly, "Don't worry, I'll call the police to help you." Saying this, he starts heading back inside the house, but Richard forcefully follows him inside. The old man, annoyed, asks, "How did you come inside my house without permission?" To save himself, Richard starts pretending to cry. He says he's really worried about his wife. He's way too stressed out. He gets so emotional that even a simple old man starts getting caught up in his words. He was just about to tell him everything about Aris when suddenly Richard's phone, which was in his pocket, started vibrating. As soon as the old man heard the phone vibrating, he immediately realized that Richard had told him a huge lie because he had said he didn't have a phone. But there it was, right in his pocket. The old man snapped at Richard in a loud voice. You said you didn't have a phone, but the one in your pocket just buzzed." The moment the truth came out, Richard's real side showed up. He yelled furious, "Just tell me straight up where you hid that girl, or I swear I'll kill you right here." The old man, unafraid, boldly replied, "If you want, you can try." Hearing that, Richard launched a deadly attack on him. But the old man was surprisingly strong for his age. He landed a powerful blow on Richard. He shoves him hard and throws him across the room. A brutal fight breaks out between them. During the scuffle, suddenly a knife appears in Richard's hand from somewhere, and without thinking twice, he lands a heavy blow on the old man with it. The wound is so deep that the old man dies right there. Aris, who's hiding behind the sofa, watches this terrifying scene with her own eyes. She feels deeply upset inside, realizing that an innocent old man lost his life because of her. Richard knows very well that the old man had informed the police he had called, and the police team could arrive there any minute now. So, to erase all the evidence, he sets the entire house on fire and starts getting ready to run away. Meanwhile, the drug in Aris's body is slowly starting to wear off. First, his fingers and then one of his hands begin to move a little. Using all his strength, he tries to shake the curtain hanging on the window, hoping to catch the attention of someone outside so they can come help him. Outside, Richard pulls up in that old man's truck just as he's about to get on the bus. His eyes catch that fluttering curtain. He immediately realizes someone's still inside the house. Without wasting a second, Richard goes back inside and checks behind the sofa. There, he finds the error lying there. He picks it up, throws it into the old man's truck, and speeds off from there. Actually, Richard is heading to one of his old cabins with it. While driving, he gets a call from his daughter. She excitedly tells him that this time, he scored really well in his exams. So he's coming to that same cabin with his mom to meet him. Actually, Richard had come to that cabin to spend a few days alone in peace. He talks to his wife on the phone and, trying to avoid her, says he needs some time by himself right now. But his wife cuts him off, saying she doesn't want to hear it. She insists that she and their daughter will be there no matter what by tonight. Hearing this, Richard gets really frustrated and angry because he was about to take him to the same cabin. After driving a bit further, the truck's fuel was almost running out. So he stopped the vehicle at a gas station. When they got there, he found out that their card payment system wasn't working. So to pay, he had to leave the truck and go inside. Meanwhile, the effect of the medicine on Aris's body started wearing off even more. Now, one of his legs began working a little. Just then, a little kid came up to the truck and greeted Aris sweetly. But before Aris could say anything back to the kid, before the kid could signal or ask for help, his mom arrives there. When she sees Aris, she immediately senses that something's really off. Aris is lying in the exact same position and doesn't look normal at all. Just then, Richard comes back. He gets into the truck and, without wasting any time, drives off. After driving for a while, he returns to the same part of the forest where his car had the accident earlier. He tries to start his damaged car, but it won't start. Then he decides to tow his car away using the old man's truck. But before Richard can hook up his car, a patrolling police officer shows up. The officer asks Richard, "Who are you?" Richard coolly replies, "My name's Andrew." Then he even shows the officer his ID to prove who he is. Actually, his real name is Andrew. The officer asks again, "What are you doing out here in this remote spot?" And who's the lady sitting in the truck? Andrew cleverly says, "She's my wife. She drank way too much and is drunk. We had a fight, and that's why our car crashed." Then the police officer goes over to the truck to check things out. Aris wants to tell him the whole truth, but the medicine hasn't worn off completely yet. Because of that, she can't speak a word properly. Although one of her hands is working pretty well now. She struggles a lot to roll down the truck window, and she says in a low voice, "Please help me." The moment he hears this, the police officer immediately realizes that Andrew is lying to him. But before he can draw his gun, Andrew suddenly launches a powerful attack on him and kills him on the spot. After that, he puts the police officer's dead body into his damaged car and blows up the car in an attempt to destroy all the evidence. He then takes the old man's truck and speeds away from the scene. Meanwhile, Eris has cleverly managed to secretly keep the syringe with herself. The dangerous, paralyzing drug was still left in it. It was just waiting for the right moment to use it on Andrew and teach him a lesson. Meanwhile, Eris got her chance and jabbed the syringe hard into his leg. But bad luck, her thumb still wasn't fully working. So when she pressed the plunger, the drug didn't actually get inside Andrew's body. Andrew screamed in pain, snatched the syringe, and threw it away. Then, angry, he sits me down and takes me right to the middle of the lake. In the boat, scared, Eris notices Andrew has a knife. She tries somehow to get to that knife. Then, getting really emotional, she says, "I have a toy of my son in my pocket. All I want is to have that toy with me in these last moments of my life." Andrew agrees to her last request. As he leans in to give her the toy, Eris suddenly grabs the knife from him and with all her strength slashes at his throat. The sudden attack makes Andrew lose his balance and he falls into the lake. His gun stays in the boat, which Eris quickly takes over. Andrew struggles to get out of the water, but Eris keeps shooting at him without stopping. Finally, a bullet hits him directly and he gets seriously injured. Now Eris is lying in the boat, exhausted, but then she realizes that the boat has holes from the bullets and is starting to fill with water. Her physical condition still isn't fully back to normal, so even though she wants to, she can't start swimming right away. Before she knows it, the boat fills up completely with water and starts sinking. Eris goes down with the boat into the deep lake. But right then, the medicine's effect wears off completely and her strength comes back. She immediately swims up to the surface. That's when she sees Andrew on the other side of the lake. Somehow, he's made it out of the water but is badly hurt and barely holding on. Eris, still in the water, she steps outside and goes up to him. Looking him straight in the eyes, she says thank you in a calm, soothing voice. She says this because the whole terrifying experience made her realize the true value of life, something she had forgotten in her depression. And with that, the story of the movie ends right there.